Hey guys, Sean here from Strong Life. Obviously, I'm doing this first question from my post yesterday asking you guys if you wanted me to answer questions for you about what's going on, about, things that you have questions around, things you want to know about around your emotional awareness, personal development, etc. I'm doing a live video. This is the first time I've done a live video, so if it's a bit funny or I look like I don't know what I'm doing, that's why. Thanks for the overwhelming response. I've already got a number of questions through from you guys on message to the Strong Life Project page, so I figured I would just kick it off with a live video and then you guys can have a look at it and tell me what you think. So the reason that I've done this is I really want you guys to have access to be able to get the answers to questions you have that otherwise you might not be able to get. And I know some people probably won't have the confidence to just reach out and ask me questions thinking that it's being rude or thinking that it's not what I'd want you to do. The whole purpose of me doing what I'm doing is help as many of you guys as I can, so I'm so happy to do that. So what I want you guys to look at is there things in your life that you'd like some help with? Is there things that you'd like some answers to, like my opinion on? And I'm so happy to then answer these questions for you. So the first one that I've got through that I'll answer is somebody sent me a message who's a police officer. I won't say where they're from or who they are, obviously, but there's a police officer who have somebody they work with, another cop, who has identified as having some issues with PTSD and critical stress and has taken some leave and some time off work. And what they wanted to know is whether they should reach out to that person, whether they should leave them alone, or what they should do. So an extension of that, obviously, as a police officer, I'll answer that, but also an extension of that question out for you guys who aren't cops is, if you have people in your life who you know are struggling, or you know are doing it tough, how can you help them? What can you do for them? So the big answer that I want to give to this person specifically is just reach out. Just reach out to that person, talk to them, let them know you're thinking about them, because when it comes to people who are struggling with, any sort of mental injury, mental health, be it a PTSD, critical stress thing, as a police officer, whether you're a normal, for want of a better term, member of society who's struggling with something else, the big thing that really has people struggle is the fact that they feel so alone. They feel like nobody knows what they're going through. They feel weak. They feel like they're the only person. I had a number of messages last night already from police officers, and I have had over the last few months, that where they say exactly that. The big thing they get out of the content that I put out and out of the critical stress workshops I've done for Queensland Police is the fact that so many of them felt like they were the only one. And hearing that, my story about what I went through and how I got through it in the end, made a big difference to them, because it made them understand that they weren't alone, that it wasn't just them, and that they weren't weak and there was nothing wrong with them. So for you, I want you to really understand that if you've got people in your life who are struggling, specifically for the person who reached out to me, send that person a text message, the person who's taken some time off work to get themselves right. Send them a text message, look after them, do whatever you can to make them know they're not alone. One of the big problems is that they will feel like they're alone, they'll feel isolated, they'll feel like they're weak, they'll feel like that they're not doing the job the way they should be doing it. They'll feel like they've let you down. They will probably feel like they've let their teammates down. And what I don't want is anyone to be in that situation on their own where they're struggling and they don't feel like that they've got any help. So you guys, really the most important part for people who go through this sort of situation is knowing that there's people there that can support them. Hey, thanks Christy for your message, that's awesome. So when you've got people who are struggling with things through mental health and depression, they could just be sad. It might be a breakup. It could be something that's happened with their family. It could be anything. When people are stressed and feeling like shit, often the isolation and feeling alone is what really impacts them. So if you can reach out to that person, it can be a simple text to just say, hey, I'm thinking about you. Know you're having a tough time. I'm always here. Might be to reach out to them and just say, hey, I'm around if you want to have a coffee. We're so scared to reach out to people and talk to them because we come up with the excuse of we don't know what to say, or we don't know what their reaction will be, or we don't want to tip them over the edge. I can tell you from having been in that situation, nothing that you can say or do will tip anyone over the edge. All you need to be is connected and loving, and all you need to do is just talk to them like a human being and help them as much as you possibly can. And the result of that, well, they will feel so much better. So if you've got people in your life who are struggling, people who are doing it tough, whatever that case may be, just reach out, talk to them, tell them that you care, tell them that, if you feel comfortable and you've been through a similar situation, tell them, I've been through a similar thing to you and it was tough. but I got through the other side. The overwhelming response I've had to my story in my book and these workshops I've put out and different things is just how people have reacted to that in a way of saying, you know, the biggest thing that's helped them is that to know somebody else has been through it and they're not the only one. When I went through that stuff myself, the PTSD, depression and suicide after leaving the police, the overwhelming thing that really bothered me was the fact that I felt weak, felt like a coward, and I thought I'd failed because I was the only one who'd been through it that I knew. Since then, through the last 15 years, I understand it's such a common thing. Suicide is one very extreme end of mental health and struggle, but I only use this statistic to put it into practice. And here's the people at the beach, the lifesavers making an announcement, so it might be hard to hear me. But the statistic is suicide is double the road toll in Australia, and it's a similarly high, terrifying statistic in the States, in the UK, Canada, New Zealand, in all Western countries. So the thing that worries me is that the fact that we've got this huge problem in society around depression and mental health and people feeling isolated, people feeling like they've got nowhere to turn, people feeling like they have no one who can help them. So if you guys have the courage to put your hands up and look after each other, so if you have people in your life that are struggling, then please reach out to them, send them a text message, tell them that you care, tell them that you understand what they're going through, do whatever you can to help them. I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a mental health professional, but I know people get a lot out of what I do for them, and I know that because they tell me, just because I have the ability, I guess, and because I'm not afraid these days to be emotionally connected and vulnerable and reach out to them and tell them that I care. So you guys, most of you don't know me from Adam, but you will reach out to me and ask me questions and ask my advice, or just to know that someone else has been through that situation. So imagine what you can do for the people close to you. So for the person who sent that question in, you know who you are. I hope that answers it for you. For you other guys, take this out. Just understand, the more you reach out and connect with the people close to you, the more you let people know around you are having a tough time that it's totally normal and it's okay and that you're there for them, the more you tell them that that is just a normal, understandable thing in your life, the better everybody's going to feel, the more connected we are, and the less of these issues we're going to have. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this first one of our Facebook Live videos to answer your questions. Please just send me a message through the Strong Life Project Facebook page that you're on now. If you want to ask me a question, happy to answer them, and I'll put out one of these a day or one every couple of days. There's a few questions already backed up, so keep sending them in, guys. I'll answer one or two or three on these. They might go for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. They might go for 20 minutes. We'll just wait and see. Most of all, just look after each other. Go out and live with strength, tenacity, resilience, optimism, nurturing and generosity, and you'll be living the strong life. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you.